Given line W is parallel to line X and line D is not parallel to line E, multiple choice, congruent, supplementary, or neither. So everyone do number 1. Alright, so if we look at number 1, the first thing that we want to do is we want to figure out what the vocab word is. So what's the vocab word for angle 1 and angle 3? Yep, corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Now, I agree with you that corresponding angles are congruent, but they're only congruent if the lines are parallel. And let me give you a visual for this because I hope that this will help it make more sense if I give you a visual. So that's angle 1. There we go, angle 1. There you are. If I take that angle and I drag it and try to put it in angle 3's spot, do you see what happened? They don't equal. Angle 1 does not equal angle 3. Angle 1 is a little bit bigger than angle 3 because D has a different slope than E does. So that's why number 1 is neither. The reason is that D is not parallel to E. So it is really important that the lines are parallel, okay? Okay, so this one's overwhelmingly, you voted supplementary. Angle 1 and angle 6 are, hopefully you know your vocab by now, same side interior angles. Now, if the lines are parallel, they're supposed to be supplementary. The question is, are the lines parallel? Well, which lines are involved? W is involved, X is involved, and D is the transversal. Is W parallel to X? Yes, it is. So these are supplementary because W is parallel to X. So that's really important. Okay, next one. The answer was congruent, and that's because these are alternate interior angles, and the lines that matter, W and X matter, and those are parallel. So, last one, let's all just what values of X and Y will make AD perpendicular to BC? What values of X and Y? So, since there's an X and a Y, that's a clue that there's going to be a system. Because two variables need two equations. So what can you set both of these equal to? What does 3x minus y equal? What does 2x plus y equal? Good, V. Now, let me just tell you one way that you could get a little mixed up. I agree with you that 3x minus y equals 2x plus y. I agree with you because they're both 90 degrees because that's perpendicular and they're a linear pair. But that's not the way to go on this problem. You're going to kind of run into a dead end if you try to solve that. So you do want to set them both equal to 90 because those are both right angles. Adriel, you could do that. It's just going to be a little bit messier. I'm not even sure that that way would get you an answer because you can't solve one equation with x and y, so I'm not sure what your other equation would be. Okay? So the good news is that this is perfectly set up for elimination. I have a positive y and a negative y. So this system could not be any more beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. So what we're going to do is we're going to add these together. 3x plus 2x equals 5x. The y's cancel, and 90 plus 90 is 180. And oh my goodness, that just got easy. Fab, yes. So, x is? Very good, x is 36. And now we just have to find out what y is. So you can plug it in anywhere you want. You can plug it in right here. 2 times 36, so double 36. 72 plus y equals 90. So what could you add to 72 to get 90? There you go. So is everyone okay with the fact that we did not set them equal and we did not add them to equal 180? We set them equal to 90 separately because that's the degree of their angle. His degree of his angle was 90, and the degree of his angle was 90. So that was important. Okay. Now we're going to do what I said we're going to do. We're going to check those homework answers. I can work a couple problems or none, whatever you want, and then I'll say a few more things before we take our parallel lines quiz. Okay guys, this is your last chance. Do you have any questions over the angles worksheet? Angles 2 was what it was called. Okay. A few things I want to go over before we take our quiz. I showed you this, I believe. Let me just make sure I showed you this. I'm not sure if I did. If A is parallel to B and C is parallel to D, then I could give you one angle and you would know all 16 angles, okay? So the way that you do that is you pick one diagonal. Doesn't matter which diagonal you pick, you just pick a diagonal. And you circle everything along that diagonal. So this was my chosen diagonal. I circled every number that fell along that diagonal. And then everything circled is congruent to everything circled. And everything not circled is the supplement of everything circled. So like if I told you that this angle was 75, then every angle that's circled is 75, 11, 14, 9, 8. They're all 75 degrees. And every angle that's not circled would be 105 because they're supplementary. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that little trick of the trade. That if you know one angle, you know all angles, and you can use the circle trick. Just a reminder, you need this for today's quiz. Today's, like on the back of the quiz, you're either going to set them equal or you're going to add them to equal 180. You only have two choices, actually on the front and the back, okay? So we know the ones that are supplementary. If it falls in the supplementary category, you add them to equal 180. And if it falls in the congruent category, you simply set them equal. They're the same. So the good news is you only have two choices. You have a 50-50 chance, okay? So real quick, I just want to go over. If you have angles like this, you could do the circle trick actually if you wanted. Or you could just say the vocab word. Oh, those are corresponding angles. I know corresponding angles are congruent, so I know that I can set those equal to each other. Because you either set them equal or you add to equal 180. But if you wanted to do the circle trick, you could. Oh, they're both circled, so they're congruent. Whereas in this one, you could do the circle trick. Oh, 4x plus 20 is circled and 80 is not circled. So I know that they're not congruent, they're supplementary. Or you could use the vocab word and say, oh, it starts with an S, therefore they're supplementary.